The existence of mythical beings may widely thought to be fictional until winged beings start to appear from the sky.
Oh my god!
Ugh. Or shadowy figures in the dark. Stick around to find out their shocking details. A hiker was deep in the woods, hoping to spot wild animals, but what he found was beyond anything he expected. Two small, grayish, white-colored beings stood ahead, their long ears twitching, their faces unsettling. They looked to have humanoid body, but didn't seem anything like one. For a moment, they remained still, almost as if watching him. Then, without warning, they bolted into the darkness, disappearing in an instant. He stood frozen, realizing what he had just witnessed. These weren't ordinary creatures. They might have been duende, mythical beings once thought to exist only in stories. But now, it seemed they were far more than just legends. Humanoid fly.
Oh my god!
In a playground, kids were playing with one of them. Filming stood near an old tree, noticing something strange. A slight movement caught his eye, making him stay and watch. Then, out of nowhere, something flew from the tree bark. Not a bee, not a bird. It had giant transparent wings, much larger than any insect.
Oh my god!
Ugh. For a moment he stared, unable to believe what he was seeing. It looked just like a fairy. The sight didn't make sense, so he quickly stepped back. But no matter how unreal it seemed, he knew what he saw was real. Cursed figure. A creepy video from April 2021 showed a creepy sight. A creature with long dark hair crawled out of the high grass onto a dirt road. Its skull-like face looked disturbing, and it crouched low as if waiting for something. At first it seemed like a person, but another angle revealed its unnatural shape. Its back was curved in an inhuman way. It made clear that this wasn't normal. It resembled a girl possessed by something supernatural. What would your reaction be when confronted with something like this? Calling a priest or better run away? Midnight encounter. Some boys were camping in the woods. As they sat around the campfire, they spotted a sight straight out of a nightmare. A creature stood on two legs, its face eerie, with horns rising from its head. At first, they struggled to believe their eyes. It didn't move like any animal they knew. The way it stood, the way it watched, it felt unnatural. They were convinced they had seen a demonic creature. The horns made it clear. This wasn't just any ordinary being. Whatever it was, they had no intention of staying to find out more. Such creatures don't like intruders in their territory. Without hesitation, they packed up and decided to leave. Silent warning. In 2019, a strange footage surfaced online, showing a giant winged creature climbing a church in Italy. At first it looked like a bird, maybe an eagle, but no, it was much larger. Its movements were unnatural, almost eerie. Those who saw it believed it might have been an angel, but seeing an angel isn't just rare. It could be a sign, maybe even a warning. The footage spread quickly, leaving many questioning what they had just witnessed. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. White figure. A camper lost his way in the woods and was trying to find the right track, holding a flashlight in his hand. Surrounded by darkness, he carefully lit his path, moving forward. Then suddenly, his light fell on a giant figure standing there. It was tall, muscular, and completely white. A white Bigfoot or a yeti? That's what it looked like. But instead of rushing toward him, the creature quickly turned and ran away. The camper stood frozen for a moment before realizing he was safe and needed to leave immediately. Forest giant. A hunter was deep in the woods when he noticed something behind a tree. Curious, he moved closer, and there it was. A giant, muscular, furry being stood there, peeking out with a bizarre smile. It was massive, towering over the tree. A Bigfoot or a Sasquatch? That's exactly what it looked like. It stared at him for a moment before slipping behind the tree and vanishing. Thankfully, the hunter remained safe, but maybe it will reappear when no one is expecting it. Murky Watcher. A fisherman had heard stories of a creepy creature lurking in the murky water. Determined to see it for himself, he placed a chicken on the dock as bait and hid nearby. Moments later, a strange figure emerged from the water. It was covered in thick hair, its face eerily terrifying. The creature slowly approached, hesitated, then grabbed the chicken and vanished back into the depths. It resembled a swamp monster. Some say the area is cursed, and those who try to remove the creature are taken into the water, never to be seen again. Serpent mystery. A brave explorer ventured into the forest, expecting to capture a wild animal, but he saw something far stranger. Right in the middle of the path, he spotted a creature with a snake-like lower body, yet its upper half resembled a human, a mix of man and serpent, something that shouldn't exist. It didn't move aggressively, just stayed there, watching. The sight didn't make any sense. Could it be the result of a terrifying cross, or an undiscovered being? He decided not to take any chances and left immediately. Later, he learned that half-man, half-snake creatures have appeared in myths for centuries, often linked to transformation and mystery. Night Stalker. Night seemed that everyone was asleep, but some beings never rest, like the one caught on camera. In the woods, a creature appeared with big, empty eye sockets and a human-like form. Its ribs were clearly visible, giving it the appearance of a walking skeleton. It moved in a disturbing way, crawling on its hands before vanishing into the darkness. Could this be an undiscovered being, now finally seen? Maybe it was always there, just waiting for the right moment to appear. Dark Stare. A local was sitting alone in his room at night, his screen being the only light. The house was quiet, nothing seemed off. But then he felt something. He looked up, and there it was. A huge shadowy figure stood outside his window, staring straight at him. Its creepy, unblinking eyes didn't move. He couldn't look away, couldn't even breathe. It didn't move, just stood there, watching. It was probably a ghostly entity. He wanted to run, but his body wouldn't move. Maybe it was waiting. Maybe next time, it won't just stand outside. Lake Secret.
Oh.
A man in Minnesota, US, witnessed something shocking near a lake. He saw two men in yellow suits slowly dragging a figure from the water. One of them handled the strange being, while the other held a net. The creature had a green, finned tail, clearly resembling a mermaid. As they laid it on the shore, its features became more visible. The man hiding behind a rock secretly recorded the scene. If this was real, then mermaids aren't just a myth. Maybe they were taking it to a lab for study. Forest crawlers. On July 25th, 2024, a strange video started spreading online, catching the attention of people interested in mysterious creatures. A group of friends was hiking in the forest late at night when they noticed glowing eyes in the darkness. At first, they thought it was a deer, but as they moved closer, they saw pale, skinny beings crawling on all fours. They didn't rush towards them, but slowly stepped back when the hikers got too close. Their strange movements made many believe they were skinwalkers, beings said to shapeshift and mimic others. If true, these hikers might have come mistakenly close to these terrifying beings. Tree Stalker. A hiker went into the woods expecting to find ghosts, but he found something far worse. As he walked with his flashlight, he suddenly froze. His light landed on a tree, revealing a bizarre figure clinging to the bark. It had white eyes and a terrifying face, as if ready to leap at him. It was a rake creature. Without wasting a second, he ran, but he couldn't shake the feeling that it was following him. Creatures like this don't let go of their prey that easily. Who knows if he ever truly escaped? Roof crawler. Ghost experts went to a haunted building, but something made them stop at the entrance. Above them, a creature was creepily crawling on the roof, its big white glowing eyes locked onto them. Its long limbs moved unnaturally as it stared down. They quickly stepped back, not expecting to find something like this. It appeared to be a rake creature. Later, those men mysteriously vanished after this sighting. Many believe the rake took them, adding another chilling tale to the legend of this eerie entity. Dark Summit.
Gördüm bir dakika bak. Gördüm.
Some boys were on a mountain when they noticed someone standing at the top in the darkness. Then they saw two glowing dots, most likely its eyes. As they focused, two horns became slightly visible. It just stood there, staring at them. To them, it resembled Kaido, a demonic creature that might have lived there, and they had mistakenly awakened it. The way it remained still, watching gave them goosebumps. Fear took over, and they knew they had to leave as quickly as possible.
Başına büyük bir sıkıntı gelebilir. Sakın panik yapma bak. Görüyor musun?
Circle Omen.
See that thing right there?
A filmmaker was working on his own indie horror movie. He had set up a ritual circle based on his research. After rehearsals, he and his friends wrapped up for the day. But later, as he returned to the site, he saw a figure standing exactly where they had created the ritual circle. It wasn't there before. He had walked through these woods for years and never seen anything like it. The next day, just before sundown, he went back. The figure was gone. They ruled out trees and stumps, but what could it have been? Maybe something was awakened. Sewer mystery. A worker was in the underground sewage area when he spotted something near a pipe. It had zebra-like patterns on its skin and webbed feet. At first it looked like a mouse, but something was strange. Its features resembled both a bird and a rodent, an odd mix that didn't seem natural. Could it have escaped from a nearby lab? If he had searched more, maybe he would have found others like it hiding in the dark. Forest discovery.
Estamos aqui no meio da mata, ó.
A group of hunters in Kera were out at night when they came across a strange creature in the forest. Its skin was pale, covered in white fur, and its face had sharp teeth. But the most shocking part, it was already lifeless. A werewolf? That's what they believed. They quickly thought of reporting it to the authorities so it could be taken to a base for study. Maybe it escaped from somewhere or was part of an experiment. Soon people might even see it displayed in a nearby museum.
É. Pensar que não existia lobisomem, não.
Dark figures. In Indonesia, an outdoor CCTV camera captured something eerie at night. A strange woman jumped from a tree to the ground, her entire body completely black. At the end of the video, another figure appeared in the background, also fully black. The site owner was shocked by what the camera recorded. Locals believe these beings were possessed individuals practicing dark magic, or maybe even evil spirits tied to the area. Whatever the case, the footage left many unsettled, wondering what truly lurked in the darkness that night. Road terror. Two friends were driving down a deserted road when they sensed something nearby. One of them pointed a light toward the dark bushes, and that's when a pale humanoid figure emerged, rushing toward their car at incredible speed. It looked like a Rake or maybe a Skinwalker. Panic set in as they sped away, trying to escape. Then, suddenly, the video ended abruptly. No one knows what happened next. We can only hope they made it out safely. Cave Guardian. Historians were exploring ancient ruins when they stopped outside a cave and saw a dark figure near the wall. It had horns and clawed hands, looking like a dragon. But dragons don't exist, right? Yet seeing this creature meant otherwise. Maybe it was the guardian of the cave. Stories say that those who enter to capture it never return. Some believe it has been there for centuries, protecting whatever lies inside. If that's true, no one may ever know what secrets the cave holds. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Midnight haunting. A driver was heading home when he suddenly stopped. Not because of signals, but because someone was sitting in the middle of the road. It looked like a woman with messy hair, her back facing the car. A lone woman at that hour didn't make sense. Then she started moving backward in a way that felt unnatural. They say she was the spirit of a woman who lost her life there and now haunts the road at night. And after that night, the driver who saw her was never seen again. Giant shadow. A forester captured something straight out of a nightmare. A towering figure nearly 10 meters tall moved through the darkness. Its massive form, long tail, and almost human-like shape gave him goosebumps. A giant troll, that's what it looked like. He filmed in silence, heart pounding, hoping it wouldn't turn. If it saw him, there was no escaping. The footage was short, but enough to prove these creatures might be real. And as for the forester, no one knows what happened next. Hidden risk. A hunter set up a trail camera in the forest, expecting to capture wildlife. But what it recorded was far from normal. Two pale, humanoid creatures appeared, creeping through the darkness. One had something in its mouth, feeding on it. Moments later, they were seen again, this time walking upright. Their bodies were eerily thin, their movements unnatural. Could they be skinwalkers? It sure seemed like it. When the hunter reviews the footage, he'll be thankful he wasn't there himself. At least it was only his camera that captured this terrifying moment. Haunting forest beast. While hiking deep in the woods, a lone adventurer came across something chilling. As he quietly filmed the wilderness, his camera captured a massive wolf-like figure. But this wasn't an ordinary wolf. It stood on two legs, towering over the forest floor, almost as if it were a werewolf. The creature froze for a moment, scanning the trees, unaware it was being recorded. Then just as quickly, it vanished into the shadows. The adventurer knew what he had seen. Still observer.
Just up there.
The woods seemed peaceful, but they held a secret for those who awaited its reveal. A wildlife expert spotted a dark, shadowy being standing under a tall tree. At first, it looked like just a shadow, but no, this thing had form. It might have been a duende.
Doesn't know I'm watching him by the looks of it.
Or maybe an alien entity. The way it stood, the way it watched, it wasn't random. Its eyes were locked onto something high up in the tree. Was it searching for something? Maybe its UFO was stuck there, and now it was figuring out how to rescue it. The expert stayed quiet, observing, knowing this was no ordinary sight. If he got too close, who knows what could have happened.
Oh, he spotted me. Okay, I better get back down.
Eerie sight.
لا يا الحبيب لا لا هد ريلاكس لا مو
A house owner felt an unusual presence outside, so he went to check and got a shock. Something was sitting on the backyard wall. At first it looked like an owl, but as it turned its face toward him, he realized something was off. Its body didn't seem right. Some feathers were missing. Looked like the result of a cross. Seeing such a creepy owl at night made him think of black magic, as such beings are used in that. Sensing the risk, he decided to walk away before it was too late. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
لا لا يا الحبيب لا لا هد ريلاكس لا مو
Lurking shadow. In a village at night, a villager saw something terrifying. A creepy creature with big black eyes, a disturbing face, and horns on its head sat on the ground. It wasn't just sitting, it was preying, feeding on some being. The villager tried to scare it off, and it went away, but not alone. It took the being it was feeding on with it. Stories had long circulated about a reptilian monster preying on humans and animals. Now they had witnessed it with their own eyes. It disappeared into the night, but deep down, they knew it would return any time. Crawling shadow. On June 7th, 2021, a CCTV camera outside a building captured something unsettling. Everything seemed normal until a strange being crawled into view. It had a human-like body, but the way it moved was disturbing, creepily crawling across the ground. Suddenly, it reached a wall and tore down the posters stuck there. Just as it was about to leave, the camera caught a clear glimpse of its glowing white eyes, adding to the eerie feeling. Could it have been a shapeshifter in human form? Road stalker. In Mexico, locals filmed a creature that suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. It had the face of a wolf, but moved in a way that wasn't normal. At first, it walked on two legs, then it was seen chasing a local before running and jumping away. It resembled a werewolf, but many believed it was a shaman who could transform into an animal. It seemed to have come from the nearby woods and ended up on the road. Locals thought of quickly reporting it to animal experts so they could take it and leave it in its territory. cave lurker. This time, Thailand became the center of attention for a creepy sighting. A tourist exploring the woods came across a cave, but what he saw inside left him shaken. A creature slowly started to appear. It had a bizarre, elongated skull and big, eerie eyes. It didn't look like any known animal. The first thought that crossed his mind was that it could be an ancient being, hidden there for ages, now finally revealing itself. Without wasting time, he quickly took pictures to send to experts. But as the creature emerged further, he turned back and left, not wanting to risk being chased by it. Vanishing figure. A tourist was exploring a rocky area in the woods when he noticed a strange figure ahead. It had a hunched posture, moving carefully over the uneven ground. On its back, it carried something, small and oddly shaped. The figure itself looked humanoid, but not quite human. Could it be a goblin? That's exactly what it resembled. Without hesitation, it slipped into a cave, disappearing into the darkness. The tourist stood frozen, realizing what he had just seen. If he had stepped inside, who knows? He might have found more of them living deep within. Frozen gaze. At night in an alley, a local was heading home when something made him stop. A white creature was moving ahead, its slightly long neck giving it a strange appearance, almost like a dragon. Curious, he stepped closer, but suddenly it froze, turning statue-like. When he reached out to touch it, its surface felt rubbery, yet its shape was oddly similar to a goat. It didn't seem like any normal animal, more like a demonic being. He quickly turned and left, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was chasing him. Hidden change. In the UK, a house's ring door camera captured a sight beyond logic. A cat was seen sitting there when, suddenly, it transformed into a small orb and disappeared. Was this some kind of magic? It might have been a shapeshifter, secretly living among humans. When the house owner checks the footage, they're sure to be shocked. Another similar sighting showed a cat walking behind a tree, only for a man to emerge on the other side. A transformation right before the camera's eyes. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Bush Watcher. In the woods, some boys came across a creature that only exists in stories. They noticed something dark hidden in the bushes. When they pointed their flashlight at it, they saw white eyes staring back. Its face resembled a wolf, clearly looking like a dogman, but instead of moving closer, it stayed low, almost as if the light had triggered it. The boys stood frozen, realizing they were looking at something that wasn't just a story. It was real, right there in front of them. Without waiting any longer, they turned back and left as fast as they could. Horned shadow. A video from Indonesia surfaced online and quickly caught attention. It showed a creature witnessed by a local. Its body was furry, resembling a giant bear or even Bigfoot, but its face was disturbing. It had sharp features and horns, making it look unlike any known animal. Many who saw the footage believed it was a demonic creature, while others thought it might be an evil entity. Whatever it was, the sight left people uneasy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Forest Watcher. What started as a peaceful family hike in a national park turned into a moment they'd never forget. While walking a quiet trail, one of them noticed something watching from the trees, not far away. As tension grew, they grabbed their camera and captured it. A dark creature stood on two legs, staring right at them. It looked just like a dogman. The way it locked eyes with them made their skin crawl. Without hesitation, they decided it was best to leave before it made a move. Glass visitor. A homeowner's sleep was disturbed by a presence outside the glass window. When he looked, he saw a black figure standing there. Its glowing white eyes stared back at him, and it seemed to have pointed horns, or maybe ears. It wasn't clear. At first, he thought it was just a shadow, but as he stepped closer, he realized it was real. The creature suddenly started knocking on the glass. Then, without warning, it slipped away and disappeared into the night. It could have been a dogman or a werewolf. Maybe it will reappear again. This time it was outside. Next time, it might be inside the house directly. Tree dwellers. A mysterious footage from a village area surfaced online. A tree was seen moving on its own, which was strange enough, but then a dark creature suddenly jumped from it. It looked humanoid. Moments later, another one dropped down. The tree itself shifted, almost as if it was alive. Before anyone could understand what was happening, the creature slipped behind the tree and vanished. Could they be evil spirits or jinn connected to it? At night, such things are known to appear. If you ever come across something like this, it's best to keep your distance and leave quickly. Road lurker. A driver was heading home late at night when he noticed something strange in the middle of the road. A creature stood there in an eerie position, its face wide open and unsettling. It looked like a skinwalker. He had a feeling it was waiting for him to stop, watching closely, ready to make a move. He sped away, but rumors later spread that the man never made it home. People believe the creature had been chasing him all along, waiting for the right moment. Some say it took him, turning him into its next prey. Whatever it was, it's still out there, lurking in the darkness, searching for someone else to cross its path. Secret catch. A leaked video has been going around, and people are talking about it. It shows men in white suits carrying something. Only its big finned tail can be seen. It looked too big to be any fish we know. They might have taken it from a lake and were moving it somewhere. Two other men stood with a stretcher, maybe experts who were going to study it. People believe that it was a mermaid, but if that's true, why would they keep it a secret? Stone thrower. An explorer was walking along a wooded path when he suddenly spotted a strange creature. Before he could understand what he was looking at, it started throwing stones at him. Then, just as quickly, it ran off into the trees. Curious, the explorer tried to chase it, but when he reached the spot, there was nothing. No sign of where it had gone. It seemed to vanish into the woods. From its small size and quick movements, he believed it was a goblin. Maybe he had wandered into its territory, and that's why it reacted aggressively. If so, he was lucky it only threw stones and didn't do more. Open discussion. While expecting a rare animal in the deep woods may seem like possibility, this turned into something far stranger. A hunter was hiding, waiting for a big catch, but instead he spotted a small figure moving between the trees. At first he thought it was a monkey, but monkeys aren't that small. Its skull was oddly shaped, its body thin and humanoid. It walked with ease, like it had lived there for years. The hunter knew he couldn't just run, he had to record it. No one would believe him otherwise and kept quiet, making sure the creature didn't see him. A dwarf living deep in the woods. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.